Hello. So, I have got a deck tech video for the first time in a while. This is going to be a Premier to Death Star 2 deck. An amazing format for this game of Star Wars CCG. And this is one of my favorite light side decks. It's probably my favorite light side deck to play. So anyway, first of all, some of my past videos here that I've done recently with some of my collection stuff. Show off something new to my collection here. 2 Japanese Commander Luke Skywalkers, pretty sweet. Thanks to the people that helped me get some of this stuff. And then I am also up to now 6 Japanese Rogue Ones. How beautiful. How beautiful. Love those. Okay, so anyway. So yeah, got a new deck here today to show. This is an Echo Base Operations deck, which, it's a very fun card, a very fun deck to play, I think. So yeah, go over that here in a sec. So yeah, getting back to the deck tech videos, when I first did, very first videos, YouTube videos was like right during the beginning of COVID, and I was just like, wanted to put decks up on YouTube because I knew that there's a lot of people that were like getting into the game, that were like new and returning players, and I would include myself, and then it had been hard to kind of find resources for decks and stuff. So one thing that I decided to do is, well, let's just throw up let's put some decks on YouTube and see what happens. And that was when there weren't very many people that were consistently posting YouTube videos about Star Wars CCG. Oh crap, I think I did something wrong here. So there's the rare. I believe that is an R1. Not actually a terrible rare to get. I would prefer it was something else, like a Darth Vader, for example, but could be worse than that, I guess. So anyway, and then lately I've mostly been posting pack opening videos, but yeah, I've done pretty well in the retro tournaments and stuff online. For anybody who's kind of a casual player, and you want to play more, look at the online options. There's a lot of online options to play. And anyway, this is, again, Premier Death Star 2 format. If you're like a table player with friends or something like that, and you got a friend you play with on a now and then basis, watch some of my videos. You'll beat your friend a lot if you take advantage of some of my decks and stuff here that I've posted on YouTube. So anyway, Echo Base Operations. We're starting off with the signal as a starting interrupt, which lets you deploy from reserve deck 1 effect. The effect that we are deploying is a new secret base. Deploying first marker, you haven't forgotten blah blah blah. Main thing is during each of your turns, you may take up to 2 sites, or 1 site and 1 effect that have Echo in the title, or 1 planet system with 2 light side icons into hand from reserve deck. So it lets you get, help you get the cards that you need to make this deck hum. So here we go. We got our main power generators for starting location, and then of course we got to pull out a Hoth site as long as nobody else is playing a Hoth site, or as long as Dark Side isn't playing a Hoth site. So we got our the 4th marker, the North Ridge. So we got those out. And we've got a new secret base. So what are we going to go get with a new secret base? Well, first turn, what we're going to do pretty much every time is we're going to get these 2 sites out. Gives me 3 force total. Gives your opponent 0 force, which is pretty sweet. Gonna get those out. So we got to get some Hoth sites out so that we can turn on Echo Base Operation, because we've got to have. In order to turn on Echo Base Operation, we got to occupy at least 3 Echo sites. So that's what we're trying to do. So next turn, we usually will go get this Echo site, and then Echo Base Operations, because we can get 1 Echo site and 1 effect if we want to. So there we go. Got a couple of systems in here. So when Echo Base Operation turns on, the big thing that it does is it gives your force drains are +2 at every system location. Your deploy is -1, and your total power is +3 in battles. So it makes deploying, if you want to deploy Leia, Han, and the Falcon, that's -3 force, which is kind of nice. But the big thing really is that force drains are +2. So, you know, at the Hoth system, you're force draining for 3. Kifix system, you're force draining for 4, which is pretty bonkers. You know, your opponent's got to do something about that or else they're in big trouble. So anyway, we've got some characters in here to get out on the Hoth sites so that we can occupy the 3 Hoth sites, and I'll show those here in a second. But yeah, we're trying to get some sites out, get the Echo sites out, trying to get this out and get this turned on, so get this turned on so we can get it out, and then kind of start taking things from there. So again, we got a Hoth for systems. We just got the Hoth system, and I got the Kifix system. So for the air, what are we gonna do in space to, you know, make sure that we're dominating space, because that's what we got to do. This is definitely a space deck. Got 2 Millennium Falcons, 2 Captain Han Solo, and 2 Leia with blaster rifle. So this is the Super Falcon combo, as it is called by people who play a lot of Star Wars CCG. This allows these 3 cards together allow you to draw 3 destiny. And then Captain Han also has that ability where you can pay 2 force to cancel an opponent's destiny draw and cause a redraw. So yeah, just kind of bonkers. Like there's not a lot of things that can handle this very well. One of the best cards against against the Super Falcon is Imperial Command, where your dark side has an admiral on a starship. Play Imperial Command, and you can limit your opponent to drawing 1 battle destiny, or they can add 1 battle destiny. But when you're playing against the Super Falcon, you know, you want to get Executor out with an Admiral on it, and you want to have at least 1 Imperial Command in your hand. A couple is not a bad thing for multiple turns. And then you can go up against the Super Falcon with the Executor, limiting their destiny draws, and then you're just fine. So yeah, one of the worst cards against this deck, one of the strongest cards against this deck is definitely Imperial Command. You know, additionally, I did play this in the Premier Death Star 2 Retro League. Did I go 2-1 with this deck, I believe, this last year? So the problem with this deck is it struggles against Hunt Down. Hunt Down is just a mean deck, and it gets on you really fast. And this deck starts out slow. The longer the game takes, the better your odds are, and I'll show you why that is a little bit here. But yeah, Hunt Down is just too aggressive, and it really just wrecks this deck. So Hunt Down is a serious problem, and that's why I did play in the Retro League, but otherwise I don't really play it in serious competitions very often, because Hunt Down is so common. But I thought I'd mix it up a little bit this year. So then we got R2 and Red 5 and Luke Skywalker. Besides, you know, of course, along with these actually being a strong combo in space, the R2 and Red 5 is a 7 destiny. And then I've got Red Squadron 1, which is Wedge Antilles' ship from Return of the Jedi. And then I've got 2 Wedge Antilles Red Squadron commanders. And I love this card. When he's piloting, when in battle with another Red or Rogue Squadron pilot, once per battle may cancel 1 destiny just drawn. And I just love that card. That's why there's 2 of them in here, so that you can get him out. You know, I don't know, Wedge and Red Squadron 1 and Luke and Red 5 is a pretty awesome combination. And then we've also got a Red Leader and Red 1. Just a quick and easy ship to get out. Okay, so some of the things that make this deck hum, and some of the twists that I guess I've made with this kind of deck. So this is Echo-based Garrison. It's an Echo effect, so you can go get it with a new secret base. But then it does this couple of neat things here. Rogue T-47s are immune to attrition less than 4 or less than 6 of matching pilot aboard. And you know, if you see my videos, I love playing T-47s. Once during each of my turns, you may take a maintenance droid, Bacta tank, load rogue, or Hoth, Special Edition Wedge, Zev, or Hobby into hand. So, yeah. So I've also got Commander Luke in here, a Zev, and a Hobby, of course. So you can go tutor, basically go get those cards, and there's another, besides them, those cards just being handy to have sometimes, there's another reason for this. I don't actually deploy Commander Luke Skywalker very often, and I'll show you why. But you can get those cards. And then, of course, if you've seen my videos, I love the T47s. And really, these guys, I think, are some of the, when it comes to this format, the T47s are some of the most overlooked cards, I think. They're really, because they can be really strong, especially when you've got Echo Base Garrison out, and then when you've got their matching pilots on them. Really strong cards. I mean, you can hold down a docking bay or another site with one T47 and 2 pilots on it, where people just maybe can't really mess with you a whole lot there. So that's a little bit of the ground game for the deck and a little bit of my twist. Okay, so Ishi Tib. We got to get some of those characters down on those Hoth Echo sites. And so we got to get just some cheap characters that have some neat abilities. Ishi Tib is one of the cards that really makes this deck hum. And so what does he do? During your draw phase, you may place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the used pile to draw a card from reserve deck. So this is one of the cards you want to get out right away, because you want to start getting all your cards set up. You want to get some of your strong effects out. You want to get some of your matching pilots and ships, or matching pilots and T47s out. So you can pull out guys like for example, Commander Luke Skywalker with this, or after a few turns when you've got Echo Base Garrison turned on, you can pull out Kifix system with this each turn, and then you can, at the end of your turn, drop those back into your deck and draw a card from your reserve deck. So you're getting cards into your deck. You're also able to stack your destinies a lot better. Longer the game goes on, the better position you are going to be in with this deck. So I have 3 of them in there because he's just that important and that good. And then we've got 2 Bargwins. And what they do is you may use 1 Force to retrieve if you've got a weapon, device, or the top card of your lost pile is a weapon, device, or transport vehicle. You can retrieve it with Bargwin. So that's why he's in there. Again, one of those guys you can sit in the Hoth Echo sites to turn on Echo Base Garrison. And then, so then our devices, and we've got some Destiny 7 cards in here, 3 of them. Bannock Candy, Gauntlet Catapult, Intruder Missile. We've also got a couple of weapons here that are good to retrieve, or good on X-Wings, especially against like Zuckuss and Mist Hunter, and some of those other dark side ships that are annoying. If you've never seen this card before, plays on an X-Wing. Target Starfire using X-Force X use 0 to 3. If Destiny is plus X is greater in defense value, target is lost, or target is hit, and it's lost immediately if X equals 3. So put this on an X-Wing, save 3 Force, or maybe just knock out Zuckuss and Mist Hunter right away if they're already out there. Unless they're playing capital starships, their dark side can be in a lot of trouble when they're playing against. And if you got an X-Wing laser cannon in your hand or out, along with an X-Wing, they really need Executor or maybe Chimera. But a lot of those, like I said, a lot of those starships that like Zuckuss and Mist Hunter are not very good against X-Wing laser cannon. Then some more ground game. Obi-Wan, 2 Obi-Wans, mostly for taking care of some of those problem dudes that might be out there. 2 more of the signals to get other effects. And what are some of those other effects? Honor of the Jedi, best card against Hunt Down. Projection of a Skywalker. Force Drain. You play it on a site that's not a mobile site, and make their Force Drains -1 at that site. So help slow down the opponent. Squadron assignments, help with get those matching stuff out. 1, what are you trying to push on us? And this is in here basically just to get Imperial Command. You can grab, if you're playing against the other deck, there's definitely always handy things you can get with this card, but the main point of this card is to get Imperial Command because it's the best card against this deck. Insight serves you well. And then we've got a control here to either take out a sense if we're in an important spot and somebody tries sensing something, or to cancel an alter when somebody tries to maybe cancel one of your strong effects. Effective repair if somehow Echo Base Operations gets into your discard, your lost pile. It's there. I know Luke and Han and Leia, instead of drawing 3 destinies, how about we draw 5 destinies? Just bonkers. I just played a game just played a game online, and yeah, I took down the Executor and like 3 pilots because I drew 5 Destiny and ended up being a pretty hefty amount. Okay, 3 Narshada Wind Chimes. Again, if I don't have an Ishi Tib right away, I'm using one of these to get Ishi Tib as early as possible. Preferably first turn. And then again, if you have since you have a slow start on the edge, to retrieve some force later on and hopefully get you over the edge to late in the game. A Punch It adds 2 Destiny if somebody's attacking Han and the Millennium Falcon. So yeah, it's got to be rough to play. It's got to suck to play against this deck sometimes, because I've seen people just attack into me, and I draw 4 or 5 Destiny. 7 with Han and Leia and I know and Punch It. Then you're drawing 7 Destiny, which is nutsos. I do have a Skywalkers in here. I love this card. Main reason I really have this card in here is because of Imperial Barrier. So like, let's say it happened too often where I'd play Han, Leia, and the Falcon, and then somebody would just barrier the Falcon, or use Imperial Barrier, so I couldn't attack that turn, and that's, I really wanted to attack that turn. So Skywalkers, besides it adds 2 Destiny if Luke and Leia are in a battle together, but then it also cancels Imperial Barrier. So, I just love that. I love people think they're fine. They play an Imperial Barrier, and then I play Skywalkers to cancel it, and then, crush them with Falcon and Han and Leia. And then 1 Tunnel Vision. So, help you get a card that you might need. So yeah, that's the deck. It's it's a little tricky to play at first, but one of those decks, like a lot of things in Star Wars, play it. The more you play it, better you'll get at it. This, like I said, this is a little bit of a trickier deck. It's not necessarily like a deck that it would be good for. I would say would be good for new people, but yeah, I don't know. Very fun to play if you like playing heavy space decks. I'd say, give it a try. Make this deck up, give it a try, play it online, play it against your friends. Yeah, that's all I got for today. May the Force be with you.